What's really good? It's your boy Spider Menace, aka D-Man, your man, aka SPOT. It's Money in the Bank time, and it's just me today. My sister is not here. She is MIA at the moment, so y'all go ahead and throw her her well wishes. Hit her up on Twitter at @spotted_Daria and tell her, she's an awesome person and she's very selfless and yeah. But for right now, it's just going to be myself, Spotted Menace, the Big D, and King Dad, our resident hero, who's going to try to keep me in check, but that shit ain't going to happen.
Hey, how's it going?
Thank you. We have Money in the Bank, our first pay-per-view after WrestleMania. And last year, I don't think it was Money in the Bank that was our first pay-per-view. I don't believe so, no. I think we went straight to Backlash. We didn't have Money in the Bank until middle of the year, and we're going right into Money in the Bank. So hopefully they have some surprises for us coming up this year, because man, we've got some wrestling news that's been happening as of late.
Yeah,
we've got morale being low. We got Triple H being reportedly angry backstage and frustrated. We got AEW signing with TNT and Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks basically saying we don't want a union, but we want a union-like situation.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of stuff is happening, and it's coming to the point where this bloated roster that the WWE has may end up getting cold a bit, because people are not happy about the way that they're being used, or the fact they're not being used at all. So who knows what the landscape is going to look like for the 2019-2020 WWE season, let alone the pay-per-view season. But, stay with us, stay with HEELKAIJU, and we'll stick with y'all throughout the whole year, figuring out everything right alongside you. We are not insiders. We're not Bryan Alvarez.
Mm-mm.
We just motherfuckers with mics. And y'all are going to have to accept that. So you ready to do this, KD?
I am ready.
Let's get into Money in the Bank. Now, our first match, because after WrestleMania, we had the Superstar Shakeup. We have... Pause. Hold on. Pause.
Right.
Pause. Hold on a second. We have the Usos, who are now technically on Raw, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're facing Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan. Oh, it's not for the title. Okay, smart. It's just a regular tag team match. See, this is what happens when you read. Reading is fundamental. I'm sitting here confused. But okay, so we have Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan versus the Usos. The only thing that really set this up is the fact that Vince McMahon screwed up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say a little bit in doing the Superstar Shakeup. You lose Brock Lesnar as your foil with the WWE Universal title, and now you have changed the roster for both Raw and SmackDown in such a way that now they get to converge on each other in this wild card thing. And because of this wild card thing, Roman Reigns is on SmackDown and he's feuding with every damn body. And the Usos came to his help. And that's the closest thing that I have to any reasoning behind this. But on the plus side, this is a pre-show match, and that's not a title match. So that makes it good in my eyes. Because Eric Rowan and Daniel Bryan are the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. They just got given the titles, by the way. So I don't know how y'all feel about that. It's a good heel move because they are heels, so I'll take it. But, there we go. We have Eric Rowan and Daniel Bryan, who are the SmackDown champions. We have the Usos, who are now on Raw, going back and feuding against the SmackDown team for whatever the hell reason. Katie, who you got?
Oh, geez. I'm going to say Daniel Bryan and Rowan.
You know what? Let's just make it easy. I think it's Daniel Bryan and Rowan. Usos are doing so well, to the point that they don't need to do anything, and hopefully they'll stop doing stuff and ruining the revival. Mm-hmm. Either cut them, cut them loose, or stop this.
Exactly.
You got two choices. Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully this next match isn't on the pre-show. We have Tony Nese versus Aria Tafari for the Cruiserweight Championship. Now, I have to catch up with my 205 Live. That's my fault. I accept that. But if I can recall, I think Aria Daivari got the number one contendership match in a multi-man match on 205 Live, and he has the rights to face off against Tony Nese. This is his second title defense because he had to defend it against Buddy Murphy, who is technically on the main roster now.
Right.
I believe he's on SmackDown?
Yes, but he hasn't been on SmackDown.
Yeah, see, again, this is how they're screwing up. Like, I had to find out through, like, you know, WWE's YouTube page to see, oh, Buddy Murphy is now officially on the main roster. Y'all are fucking up.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Like, I already have a bad attention span. Y'all don't need to make it worse by, like, not letting your storylines, like, be on screen. Or at least, you know, say something.
Yeah.
Make it explicit. But anyway, title match, Tony Nese versus Aria Daivari for the Cruiserweight title. Who do you got?
I'm going to say Nese just because he hasn't really done much of anything just yet.
Yeah, it's really weird because the last two Cruiserweight champions that we've had, Cedric Alexander and Buddy Murphy, had like such personality, and also they also had some like nice storylines to go with it, with Cedric Alexander being the heart of 205 Live and Buddy Murphy just being the perfect, you know, big guy heel, big guy as big as you can be on 205 Live, for everybody to try to, you know, measure up against. What is Tony Nese's character conceit? Like, what is his direction aside from I have the title and I am now a babyface?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that they figure out what they're going to do with him, and how they're going to do it. But I got Tony Nese doing it because you don't get rid of him with the title that quickly. It doesn't benefit Aria Daivari. It doesn't benefit Tony Nese to lose it. So I say he holds on to it. Moving on. See, I told you going to run through these. Like, this is not going to be a long one. So y'all are going to love this. We got Samoa Joe and Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship. Now, the rumor mills, the dirt screens, whatever you want to call it, had Rey Mysterio injured after a match with Baron Corbin prior to WrestleMania, which is why his first attempt at the United States Championship match was like a 90-second, you know, squash.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. Now we're going to have a legitimate match, hopefully, between Rey Mysterio and Samoa Joe, but it must be like 2003, 2004 again, because Dominic is involved for whatever the hell reason.
Jeez.
And I don't know what it is with Samoa Joe. I don't think he likes wrestlers who have families. He did this with AJ Styles. Oh, Wendy! And now he's going around messing around with Rey Mysterio's kid. The hell? So I don't know what role Dominic is going to play in this, but you know it's got to be a role, because if he doesn't, that makes everything that happened weeks prior stupid. It makes it really stupid. Yeah. It doesn't make sense. I don't like it. So Dominic has to get involved, and I don't like that either. They painted themselves into a corner. So who you got? Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio for the United States.
Samoa Joe, because I want to see Dominic get beat up. I feel like we've been overdue this because, like, you know, this should have happened weeks ago now.
Dominic getting these hands from some Samoa
Yeah,
Joe.
I mean, he really does need to get these hands. He thinks he's a wrestler, so I mean, like, you know, it's time to get these hands.
Oh my God, they're gonna do to Dominic what they did to the Miz's dad. Jesus, I got Samoa Joe. He needs long, lengthy runs with titles. This is his first main roster one, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, this is his first main roster one, so he needs to have a lengthy run with the title. He should be, like, main title, like, bound. Same for Rusev. Same for a lot of people who have long since earned the right to hold the main strap, and now with Brock Lesnar out of the picture, somewhat. I say somewhat because there's rumors that in Saudi Arabia is going to be Seth versus Brock, and I don't want to get into that because I hate it. But, you know, Samoa Joe needs a long run with the title. Make it mean something. So Samoa Joe keeps the title. I'm just going bottom up. Like there's no rhyme or reason. This is not going in any kind of order. So we're just going to move on to Kofi Kingston versus Kevin Owens for the championship. Now this is probably one of the only matches I actually give a shit about. And that's because Kevin Owens Kevin Owens has this distinct ability to rip your heart out. Like, even though Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens were shit heels, they were friends. Kevin Owens destroys friendship.
Mm-hmm.
That's just his thing now. Aside from with Sami Zayn, and even then, it's like, why are y'all together? Oh, wait, I realize it's because you both suck ass. But Kevin Owens just tears your heart out. Thought he was teaming up with the New Day. We knew at some point, he would face off, but we didn't know how it would happen. Apparently, we see now, Kevin Owens turns his back on the New Day, beats the shit out of Xavier Woods. Poor Xavier.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Xavier. And now it's him versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE title. This is Kofi's first, real attempt at a title defense. Nope. Scratch that, because I'm forgetting about the winner take all title match.
It's the first legit one.
Yeah, this is the only one that actually fucking matters. Let me just say that. So we get to see how he wrestles with somebody else. Kofi is well served to have two guys who make people look good, and that's not me saying that Kofi doesn't have the ability to look good in the ring. Never that. I'm just saying, Kofi has not had to carry a feud yet. And for the first two feuds, he's never going to have to, because he's got Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens, and these two are going to work well together. I think it's going to be a phenomenal match. I expect it to be 4.5 stars, possibly, especially with some amazing storytelling. I hope they don't try to break up the New Day. Please don't do that.
Yeah.
KD, who you got? Kevin Owens versus Kofi Kingston.
I think Kofi's got this one. I really wish they would have kept the whole New Day thing going for this summer, because that would have been a fun storyline instead of just squandering it that quickly.
I still think at some point in time you're going to have Kofi Kingston go up against Randy Orton, and I think the summer of Kofi versus Randy would have been a perfect direction to go for it, just because Randy's the story between Randy and Kofi, the history that they have.
If they would have had them going at it, have a big match at SummerSlam, Kofi wins, and then on SmackDown there's a big old celebration, and then Kevin Owens beats the hell out of Kofi, that would have had some impact.
WWE has this issue with either not pulling the trigger soon enough or pulling the trigger way too quickly on storyline moves. And for some reason, they just haven't been able to find their butter zone. They'll make it look rushed because they just wanted to run right into it, which this doesn't feel as rushed, but it's there could have been much more weight to it if you could have let it linger a little bit more. Or they completely miss the mark and then they give you what you want, but months or even years too late, to the point where you just don't give a shit about it. So I'm hoping that this doesn't get hurt by their incapability of hitting the mark of when to strike while the iron is hot. But I got Kofi Kingston winning this. Again, same thing that I said with Samoa Joe. Let him keep the title for a bit. Let him build something up, grow with it. We're going to move on to a match that I care about, but I don't care about at the same time. We got The Miz versus Shane McMahon. The reason why I say I care about it is because for some reason this is still a fun thing. But on the other end, the problem that I have with a match like this, it's a steel cage match. There's going to be shenanigans. Because, if you weren't going to let him get a resolution at WrestleMania, that means it's going to drag out a little bit longer. And if it's going to drag out a little bit longer, I can't find a way for Shane to legitimately beat The Miz in a cage match.
Yeah.
So it's going to end up with some, screwy finish that's just going to make you want to do the whole jerk-off gesture for, until the heat death of the universe, because you're just I don't care anymore. It's almost gotten to that point. But again, the story's fine. I just think the execution is going to be horrible for this match. We got Shane versus The Miz. Who you got, KD?
I think I'm going to go with Miz on this one.
Okay, so you think he's gonna manage to beat out whatever Shane brings to him?
Yeah.
I got Shane because, again, I don't think that you resolve this on a smaller stage. like, since you didn't let it happen at WrestleMania, it's probably going to happen at SummerSlam. And that's not a bad thing because they don't have to interact with each other so consistently until August. But it's not a big payoff to let Miz, let the Miz get the win. There's not a massive, emotional payoff for that. It'll then just be like, okay, you just beat him, unless they try to do this like, rubber match situation.
Yeah.
Which, shit, that might be interesting. Best in the world. You know what?
I mean, if they're saving it for the next Saudi trash event.
That too. That's on the horizon. God bless it. That's gonna ruin everything. It's ruining my predictions, man. And it's ruining my enjoyment of this shit. You know what? Fuck it. The Miz gets the win. Who cares? Who gives a shit? Like that just brought my mood down. I hope you know that. Reminding me that they're going to Saudi Arabia just ruined my mood. Shit. All right, first up, we have Becky 2 belts versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. What more can you say aside from the fact that Becky 2 belts has to be Becky 2 belts for a while, so Becky's got to get the win?
Yeah.
I'm not even going to tell storylines. I got Becky. Who you got?
It's Becky. There's no... That's not happening just yet, I don't think.
Like, I think Becky's matches may end up being the show stealer, or they'll just end up being regular matches. Like, there is no in between. It's either going to be amazing or it's just going to be forgettable. That's one thing. Two, you got to have Becky win continuously. Like, that's the only way that I can see this working out is having Becky continue up the Becky 2 belt. So
yeah,
fuck it. You know what? Let's just jump to Becky and Lacey Evans. Let's just get that out the way. Becky. Just Becky.
It's Becky. I think it's close. I think, there's run-ins or shenanigans or something, but it's Becky.
Like, we might, depending on the match order, we might get a tease of a cash in. But like, how do you work the cash in? Like, that's good. That's more my question. Like, how do you do the cash in when you have somebody with 2 belts? Do you take both of them or do you take one of them?
I think you challenge for one or the other.
Okay, well, I mean, like, that works perfectly. Like, if you give advance notice, I'm just wondering, like, what happens? Like, if it's a spur of the moment, if you get the pin, do you go like, I want that one? It's just,
I think you have to determine ahead of time.
Okay, well then that makes sense. Moving on to a match which I'm happy to see Roman Reigns back in the ring. I've been enjoying him. He has not changed anything, but like they found a way to make us give a shit about him, as morbid as it seems. And I do give a shit about him because I do like the way he's been doing. But we got Roman Reigns versus Elias. No story to tell you. Roman Reigns came out, Superman punched Vince McMahon, and that's it. Elias hates him now. Like, that's basically the crux of the whole situation. So who you got? Roman Reigns versus Elias.
This feels like a bathroom break, but yeah, Roman Reigns is going to win.
You know, this is probably the piss break match of the night, and it's not due to lack of ability. It's just due to the fact that it's a nothing match. Nobody gives a shit about. It's probably good. It's
just hilarious that they had a man come back from cancer and were already disinterested or starting to boo him again.
It's their fault.
It really is.
It is all their fault. Because if you go back and you watch the WrestleMania one, our pay-per-view predictions, I posited that it would have been perfect to have Drew McIntyre get the win over Roman Reigns.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been the perfect little storyline of Roman's trying to make sure that he's definitely ready to come back and, really kept him sympathetic. The whole issue with Roman Reigns and the reason why he can't connect with the crowd is the fact that people aren't super sympathetic to him. And it has a lot to do with his actions and very little to do with his words. So, like, having him Superman punch Vince McMahon, okay, that got you a cheap pop. But after that, you still got fan favorite, even though he's a heel, Elias versus Roman Reigns. And like, even though Elias is driving the reason why there's a conflict, I still just don't care.
That's how I feel.
So like, you have to find an opponent for Roman Reigns or create and write a situation with Roman Reigns that makes us sympathetic to him. and they haven't found that
Yeah,
yet.
they
It's
somehow
like,
just completely ruined it.
like, how do you drop the ball on Roman Reigns after all of this? I'm not saying that like people will hate him again, like in the coming months, but like you went from he's hot as hell to bordering apathy.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it is. It's like, who cares? I mean, the comeback's there. He's back to winning again. There's nothing to care about.
Yeah. You got to give him some adversity.
I mean, yeah, they should have, like, said he's not, like, back
adversity.
He's not back up to speed or something. I mean, that would have been fine.
Like, have him stumble here and there. Like, I would have loved it if the B team managed to sneak a win on Roman Reigns due to some shenanigans, because it's basically 3-on-1. He should have lost that handicap match.
Yeah.
Give him some adversity. Have him lose.
I mean, he's overcoming all odds again, and it's just not believable.
Yeah. Have him lose. Have him second guess himself. Have him work to get that emotional payoff that he definitely deserves, but you have to have him lose. Having him lose this is Drew McIntyre was the perfect person for that.
Yeah, I mean, he's the one that's like, seems like he's being built up, but that's like, they just refuse to do that.
I don't know. Like, we're going to move on, because it actually hurts my heart. It really does, because that should have been a big thing. But now we're going to get into our Money in the Bank matches. We're going to start with the women this time around. There has been news that Alexa Bliss still is going through concussion protocol, so she is not in this match. She is replaced by Nikki Cross, which is a perfect replacement. They had her take her place at Raw during the Fatal 4-Way? Yeah, it was a Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah.
Not a triple threat. Yeah. And she had a great showing. I'm all ready for Nikki Cross to do bigger and better things, to get more involved. It's a shame it's at the expense of Alexa Bliss, but that's wrestling for you. It happened with Kofi Kingston and Mustafa Ali. It's probably going to happen with Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. But anyway, we have Natalya, Dana Brooke, Naomi, Bayley, Mandy Rose, Ember Moon, Carmella, and Nikki Cross. Shit, how many people is that?
8.
Yeah, that's 8 people. That's a lot of motherfucking people. A lot of people.
I'm more of a fan when they do 7, but I guess they wanted, they had to have 4 from each side.
Yeah, it would have been a perfect idea, and again, this is my fantasy booking side, to make Survivor Series matter by like having whoever wins Survivor Series get like 4 entrants, and then we have 3 for the losing team, and maybe you pull in somebody from NXT or 205 Live, depending.
Right. And
that would have been a nice way to do it. It makes the pay-per-views matter, but that's neither here nor there. That's just fantasy booking. Yay, we do that. So here's how we do this. When we do the actual predictions points-wise, we go, your first pick is 3 points, your second pick is 2 points, your third pick is 1 point. So give me your top 3 from 1, 2, and 3 for this match.
I think Nikki is going to win this. I also am going to put I'll say Bayley is second place, and you know what? Dana Brooke is dark horse third.
Okay. All right. I'm with you. I think Nikki gets the win. Because Nikki is still kind of a fan favorite. And she's, the wild card and all of that.
Yeah.
I'm about to mirror you completely. Matter of fact, I am. Bayley and Dana Brooke. I really wanted like Ember Moon to get the win, but she may end up being like the Shelton Benjamin in these matches. Doing some amazing, crazy stuff to keep you, watching the match, but she may not end up getting the win. I really want her to, but like, I think there's a bigger story with Nikki Cross, a bigger story with Bayley, and a bigger story with Dana Brooke.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to admit it. Like, if I could choose 4, Ember Moon would be my 4. But since I can't, that's my 3. We're moving on, doing the exact same thing for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. We have Sami Zayn, Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, Ali, Finn Balor, Andrade, and Randy Orton. Now I can't count. I can't.
That's also 8.
It's also. Why did I think there was 9 on one of these? Because I'm an idiot. Oh shit! Yeah, that's probably what it was. Okay, so Sami Zayn took Braun Strowman's place. He beat him on Raw this past Monday in a Falls Count Anywhere match, which of course had a screwy finish thanks to Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin. Yeah. Which we kind of expected to happen. So expect him to find his way into this match somehow, some way, because he's a monster among men. He's a monster in the bank. So that's what we got. So the same thing we're doing with the women. Top 3, 1, 2, and 3. Who do you got?
I say Sami Zayn's going to win this. Drew McIntyre would be second, and Ricochet third.
Okay. I'm not going to mirror you completely on this one. I think Sami Zayn is your 1. Because that'd just be... I would hate it. I would hate it so much. That's why I think he's going to get it. Because I would absolutely freaking hate it. I think the fans would hate his smug smarminess coming out here talking shit to you while he has that briefcase. I would hate it so damn much. Number 2 would be Drew McIntyre, and that's because, like last year with Braun Strowman being the dangerous guy in all of this, Drew McIntyre is like the most dangerous one in this Money in the Bank, in this men's Money in the Bank. He's probably the most dangerous one. That also could be why he doesn't need it, because I think he could find his way into a title match like within the next few months, just off the merit of him being that dangerous guy. But I still got him as my number 2 just in case, because seeing him with the briefcase would culminate well over a decade of like missed opportunities with Drew McIntyre from the first time that when he was the chosen one.
Yeah.
Like that would probably make my eyes well up just a little bit to see him walk around with that briefcase, just knowing like you went from the Intercontinental Champion to being the chosen one and then just doing absolutely nothing on 3MB. And here you are with the briefcase. You are just one step away from being the champion that you deserve to be, that you've earned the right to be. So I want to see that. And my number 3 is Andrade. I'm picking all heels on this. And I know that they're super high on Andrade, so that's my dark horse pick. It's got to be him. Our final match, as I said, we ran through this. It was going to be a short one today. Since we don't have as many people here. There's not really a lot of storylines because everything got reset after WrestleMania. Everything got completely and totally reset, so everything is kind of ramping up. Our final match of the night is Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles for the Universal Champion. It feels so damn good to have a Universal Champion show up on Raw every single night. It feels so damn good to have a champion that feels like anybody can feasibly and conceivably challenge for his title without having to find ways to make it work. It could just be a guy versus your champion and everybody will just believe it. Instead of it's a guy versus your champion and you have to find some way to think about how they're going to wrest the title away from his hands.
Yeah.
It feels so good. And I love this. And any rumors out there that says Brock Lesnar may be coming right back, please stop. Don't speak that into existence. I'm having a good time now. I wasn't having a good time back then. I'm having an okay time now. I'm having a serviceable time at this moment because WWE still kind of sucks. But at least when it comes down to the main title picture, it feels refreshing. Even though Seth Rollins has been on the top before, I don't care. It's not Brock Lesnar. And I'm happy about that. So we have Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles. They've been going back and forth at it. AJ ends up hitting the phenomenal forearm on Seth through the table after their contract signing, and they've been having little mishaps here and there. But none of that actually freaking matters. We're getting an amazing match in Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles. So for our final match of the night, who do you have, King Dead?
I think Seth's going to be successful in his first, legitimate defense.
Honestly, now that I think about it, I don't think we're going to be missing any titles. I don't think we're going to be having any titles change hands for a couple of pay-per-views now because everything has changed. You gotta establish guys because a lot of these people who own titles now, that are in these matches, a lot of them, not every one of them, but a lot of them, scratch that. All but Samoa Joe. Every title holder, except for Samoa Joe, has won their title at WrestleMania. Every single one of them, now that I think about it. So you don't have them lose championships one pay-per-view into the new season. Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't look good for the title. Definitely doesn't look good for the champion. It doesn't help the challenger. So why, like, for the next couple of months, I don't think we're going to see a title change hands. I don't think that's going to happen unless it's through Money in the Bank. And, like, that would be okay. That works. That's the loophole. So for this one, I got Seth Rollins. I got Seth Rollins on this, and honestly, like, this may end up being an okay pay-per-view. I say okay because I can't think of anything aside from maybe Becky Lynch, maybe Kevin Owens versus Kofi Kingston that is going to really knock your socks off. And usually that's kind of what happens on the first pay-per-view after WrestleMania, because, like, you're not going to get too many, like, amazing pay-per-views, like, right after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So this will end up being, like, a pretty fun experience. It may end up being a fun pay-per-view, but there you go. Those are our picks. You got anything left?
No, I think that's it.
All right, let me go ahead and do our little thing. Let me do our little thizzle. Clear my throat. Since I don't got my sister here to help me out. She's all the way in Chicago. It is just me. I gotta do all this. I gotta do lighting. I don't know why I said lighting, because y'all can't see my ass here at all whatsoever. Moving on. As always, you can catch our podcast on iTunes, link in the description below, or at the website at HEELKAIJU.com. The newly revamped HEELKAIJU.com. Remember that. There you can find our shows, articles, and our merchandise to keep this site up and running, and to keep us providing you with content. You can also join the Kaiju Wrecking Crew by following us on our Twitter account at HEELKAIJU, where we'll provide you updates, developments, and insights. Thanks again for listening. Thank you again, KD, for joining us, because I know you're a tired puppo. Having a long week. Glad the weekend.
Thank you for having me.
Always glad to have you. And y'all remember to keep smashing.